What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. I hope that your day is as blessed as my day is. Blessed. What does that mean? Well, hey, I'm out here doing what I believe and know what the Most High has for me. Now, hey, I want to just give a shout out to brothers and sisters out there who have found the interest to travel abroad. I don't care where you go. I'll be in Asia here in another few weeks. But the motherland, an awesome opportunity to come to a continent where we know many of us have been originated for humanity, or who have started off by our ancestors, living in a situation, slavery, whether it's through other means of by the Arab slave trade, the European slave trade, that we found ourselves scattered for the four corners of the earth. And yet many are coming back to the place that we have originated from the beginning of times. Let me go ahead and get into this right here. I don't want to belabor everybody because it's something that is very disturbing to me, actually. I got a call from several people that are there in Gambia that this young lady, Andrea Martin, who passed away 50 years old, the fifth woman, mysteriously death in the last year and a half or so, from what I'm told, that the U.S. Embassy has drawn an investigation. But what's disheartening to me, that I got to say it, that many of you all, well, I'm going to say the women, really. That's only 30% of the populace of my viewership is, hold on 1 second. Women I'm watching. I've been to 33 African countries. I've been to South America and the Central Americas and the islands. And I see many sisters traveling, many sisters by themselves traveling. My hat's off to you all, because it's a beautiful place, a world to go venture. But what I'm finding really disheartening, women becoming victims. I got to say this, y'all. I got to say it, and many of you all just ain't going to like it, but I'm going to say it, whether you like it or not. You can always turn off the channel, but many of our sisters do not realize the freaking importance of having a man as their head. You're just not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Our beautiful sisters are vanishing. Our beautiful sisters are, like how my brother say, the scripture says, are meandering. I call it aimlessly wandering. I told my daughters, I said, you know what? If you cannot appreciate your father, me, the earthly, to be the head over you, to ensure that you have at least the proper male guidance, protection, covering, you're setting yourself up for failure. You are setting yourself up, women, for failure. Men, let me say this to you all. We're going to get into the video. I'm going to show her video. She basically told who she was being hunted by. She tells what was going on in the Gambia. She even mentioned one of the sisters that just died. I got a call about this. One woman just died just a couple of months ago. These mysterious deaths. And she's going to talk about witchcraft, voodoo, Hindu, whatever you want to call voodoos, whatever. But I have to say this up front. Sisters, we all got to get out of this. You don't need a man. You got to get out of this thinking that you can just pick and select these males who the sister's going to describe who are doing harm to the women. Why would a man not do harm to a woman who ain't got no covering? How does a woman even think that she can have protection if a man knows that she has no man covering? She is nothing more than a victim waiting to be taken advantage of. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Now, I know I've met sisters here in Ghana and Tanzania and met in South Africa, met sisters over in of Rwanda and Kenya. I've been to 33 African countries and I've met these sisters. It's great. But you got to be more wise. You got to use wisdom. You are in a freaking man's world, whether you like it or not. Somebody said, I heard it was 6 deaths. Hey, there's so many going on in Gambia, man. It might be lost count. But I was told the 5th. I got people there on the ground. I got people from America, people in the UK, people from Europe that are there on the ground. And I'm going to say this too, because I think it's one of my duties as an elder and as a brother in love to say, women, y'all need to think about being over in that Gambia. Look, if the rates are very high, where the U.S. Embassy, from what I'm told and was reported to, that they are investigating because of this amount of women's deaths in the last year and a half or so. Well, she's the person who told me this, said since 2023. We just entered 2024 or 2022. So we just entered 2024. So we're saying probably a year and a half. I asked my sister, why are you there? But everybody got their reason. Everybody got their comfortability. Everybody have their own means. So be it. Cheryl says, if a woman have no man or male family member who wants to travel to Africa, what can they do? Rent a man? What do they do? It's a very good question. First and foremost, we do know the Most High. That's really the protection that I always speak to when I'm walking out. Hey, Lord, hey, put your protective arm about me. Protect my path as I go. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. Let no weapon form against me prosper. And anything that try to rise itself above your will, cast it aside. Destroy it. That's what first and foremost I will tell you. I do that. But let me say this right here. What do you do? Well, sometimes, well, let's just keep it in America. What do you do when you are out at night? You decide to hang out somewhere and you got to get home. Many run the risk and say, okay, I'll just go home. Middle of the night, you got to get out of your car. You got to get to your apartment. You don't know who's watching, who's following. Some women are wild. I tell my daughters, look, you must know. You got to take precautionary measures, okay? You got cell phones today, okay? You talk to people. You put your live location. You can tell if you want 2 hours, 1 hour, 8 hours, so somebody knows where you are. You get on your phone. You be live when you get out of your car. So if somebody does, turn your camera around so somebody can see whatever it is. You got to think wise. If you're traveling, okay, you must be wise. I was in security and I worked security forces. I worked in intelligence, and there are measures you can take outside of the forms of just having a male next to you. Yes, you can. Look, many don't care about having any males. Can you escort me home? Somebody who's close to you. Can you follow me home? Make sure I get in my door, and then you go about your business. Our sisters are traveling the world, and you're a big victim because they see, woman by herself, easy victim, very easy victim. Why? Number one, you're a foreigner. Two, look, who are you going to turn to? Or if somebody bumps you over the head, put something in your drink, who are you going to report to? All Asians, if you was in Asia, look alike. All Mexicans look alike. Where do you start in a strange land? There are traveling groups. Sisters, create your travel group. Join forces. I know each African country's got repats and diaspora groups and stuff. You can connect with those groups. Let's get into this right here. Our dear sister is what I'm reported to, the 5th victim woman Death Mysterious, 50 years old. She's going to share some stuff that is kind of, it's a little eerie, that you will show somebody's picture and then you will say, these are the people who are haunting me. And then she started, from what I'm told, she got into more of the spirituality of, saying people put hex on you. She did some videos of what's going on in the Gambia and all that there. But we're going to get into what she says, because I believe she shared. She didn't get to that second video of the second, to show the second picture. She got off track, but she showed a woman of one who, and a guy that was hounding her. Let's get into it. Let me first say, too, condolences to her family members, her friends who lost her. I got a call before I went live. A brother went there to the hospital to see her. She was on the machines. He prayed for her. I don't know if he wants me to disclose who he is or not, but he did give me that information. And he said he met her when she first got there to Gambia. And so, yeah, let's get into it. All righty here. I'm going to start off with this video here just to give you an intro of who she is, just to get a feel of her. And then I'm going to go to the video where she reveals who are those haunting. All right, let's see here. Let me make sure that I got this up and going.
Is Gambia a lawless society? And are you ready to live in a society like this? Okay. And the reason why I am posing this question is because I sort of ran into a sister in the community. And, whenever I see our people, I go out my way to greet them. How are you doing? How's it going? Because you just never know, where people are. And I don't ask people how you doing and not wait for a response. Like a lot of fake people do that. They'll be like, oh, how you doing? And before you can even get the answer out, they telling you their whole life story or they're gone. If I ask you how you're doing, it's because I am genuinely concerned. I genuinely care about how you're doing, right? Because if there's something I can say or something I can do to assist you with whatever you're dealing with, that's what I'm here for. Even if it's just a smile, even if it's just a yes, keep your head up, or I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Okay, so that went to commercial. So I guess that right there is a good opportunity to go to the video at hand, where I thought was interesting that she kind of points out some things that transpire. This was 2 months right here before her passing, mysterious passing. So let me go ahead. I put this at a starting point already, to where, she talks about a lot of things that are going on. Y'all can go to this video later, but I'm going to interject a time or two, just pointing out some things that I found that maybe investigators there or in America, whomever, can pick up on or run with it. So let's just get into her video.
So I keep walking. Then I see a brown dog. So I'm taking notes of everything. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So I get to the location where this individual is, and I look at him real good. And now, mind you, I already know he's a demon. He's a foot soldier for the devil. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, that is the same costume he had on when I met him. Another sign, right? Signs, symbols, and synchronicities. I said, okay. So I say, well, do you want to sit over here by the water? He says, no. I said, okay.
He wanted to sit like in a shaded area, but there was people there. So I didn't want him. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. I don't want to embarrass you in front of people. I go over to where he wants to sit, and I go to sit down, and the man who owns the place has a chicken. Greetings. Thank you for joining. And the chicken jumps up on the bench and follows me like, don't talk to him. So I shoo the chicken away. Now, the guy who owns the place has a white dog, and this dog is not security. The dog does nothing but lay on the beach the whole time. When I tell you the dog came up from the beach, it's a female dog, and she laid on the side of the tree by me. So he couldn't see the dog, but I could see the dog in front of me. So he's talking to me. He hasn't seen me. He misses me. And I'm telling him, listen, we need to wrap this situation up. He says, what do you mean? I said, there are such things as soulmates, twin spirits, and karmics. I said, you are a karmic. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, you are probably someone who killed me in a past life. He was just like, why would you say that? I said, because I see exactly who you are. I said, you're a demon. Straight up, you a demon. I see who you are. I see your sexual preferences. I see all of you. It's in the tiles. When I do water divination, I can see you. So me seeing who you are knows that I don't want nobody like you around me. I know what my journey is, and my journey does not include anybody energy harvesting off of me, trying to be part of my legacy, trying to steal what I'm trying to build. I don't want nobody like that.
Let me pause right now, okay? Because, when I was watching some of her videos, I'm not sure of the modalities that she uses or what she may be affiliated with. I know some people say she was part of witchcraft or whatever that is. I'm going to hit on, for us who believe in the Most High, how we combat the very things that have been harboring her, whether it was spiritually, mentally, or physically. Because though she had her way of expressing and dealing with her life, if you listen closely, speaking words is very powerful. And how you think and perceive things also plays a huge part in your psyche. So then that when you're hearing her say some of these things, she has some affiliation with the spiritual beliefs in magics, because I watched a couple of her videos, magics and spells and things like that you're going to hear her talk about.
And he was so hurt. When I tell you his eyes filled up, they got real bloodshot red. And he was like, I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. I'm just in shock. I said, well, I'm gonna need you to process that.
Let me pause again. Who she's describing is what I was told was an ex-boyfriend, a guy that she was dating. That's what I was told. I don't have any other facts or all that right there, so that we can take that as a grain of salt. But let's continue.
Because I stand by what I say. Let me tell y'all something. Do you know every time this man talked that white dog flipped on his back? It's a female dog. Every time this man opened his mouth, that dog laid on her back and did this. All four legs wide open. Now, y'all tell me why one person's voice would make a dog act like that if this ain't the devil. Mind you, this is an individual who smokes weed all the time. I'm not a smoker. I don't drink. This is an individual who smokes weed. But here, and this is what we don't know, and that's why I said I had to come on today. People are using smoke gins. Do y'all even know what a gin is? D-J-I-N-N. Now, if you are familiar with the Quran, you might remember I Love Genie and little shows like that when you was younger. Yeah, so they would rub the bottle and the genie would come out and you could make a wish type thing. Well, people use jinns in different ways. They can have jinns take the possession of roaches and send you a curse of infestation to your house. They can have a jinn take the place of a spirit. And every time you go in your bathroom and you look at your tiles on your floor, it will be an image of that person. People use sex magic here. You don't have to have sex with someone for them to use sex magic on you. They will do things like pleasure themselves, be burning a candle, chanting your name, trying to invade your dreams. I'm telling you, this is real. They would even have people that try to get you to drink or eat from them. Let me tell you.
Let me pause because this sister passed 2 days ago. Well, no, I was informed yesterday morning. I think it was a day or 2 days ago. 50 years old. Don't drink, don't smoke. You see, she's in her, she's definitely not obese, not overweight. So we do know that we can at least deduce the fact that there are some things that were not in play when it came to her actually being found unconscious in a sense, then have to go to the hospital, then turned and fall into a stroke, which then fall into a second stroke, I'm told, or a heart attack, and then she's gone. So some information for you to put along the story.
I don't eat from places no more. Ever since I realized that this individual was stalking me, I said, you know what? I don't see him, but I know he is watching me. And sure enough, what he was doing was hiring the people that are working around me. There's 3 houses being constructed around me. He's hiring the construction workers and having them watch me and report when I am leaving, when I'm coming back. When I would go to walk in the woods, I would feel like someone is following me. Sure enough, he's telling these people when I go on the beach that own the restaurants, look and see where she's going. Look and see who she's talking to. Mind you, I'm always alone. So that's probably not the best thing either. I know everybody, but I move by myself. So this is more than somebody, you will have people latch onto you and they will harvest energy from you, right? They will be pulling your energy and you don't even know this is possible. But the reason why I came on to tell y'all this today is because this situation of me being stalked is not new. This happens to a lot of women here, but I don't think they realize the intricacies of it.
Women, do y'all hear that? Somebody is saying, don't go to Africa. Look, let me tell you, there are more y'all dying in America than in Africa, literally. So let's not play that game that Africa is more dangerous than America. America's more dangerous because people are dying left and right by murders, killings, mothers killing children, fathers killing children, children killing parents, strangers in the streets, mass shootings in the elementary schools, in public places. We have the drug issues. We have the homeless issues. So let's please be adult about this. Don't go to Africa. See, you don't need to be going. Somebody say to build up. We ain't building up no Africa. What are you talking about?
Will get the whole community involved. They will tell the local restaurant, yo, when she come, let me know what days she come and what she order. Because when I'm ready to get rid of her, I'm going to slide it to you. I'm going to hit you off with a couple of Delasi, and we're going to take care of that problem. And they will be down, the whole community, just like that. Like you was never nice to them. Like you was never a good person. You will always be a foreigner. This is the part we don't get. Many of us come here and we are like, oh, we just want to integrate. I don't want to be called a two-bob. I'm African. I'm this. Sisterhood is sisterhood, brotherhood is brotherhood. You African or indigenous American, no matter where you are in the world, we are one nation, no matter where we are located. Okay? So you gotta come here with your eyes open. And yes, I will be making moves. I saw somebody said, come back. You know, I'm coming. I have some moves I have to make because with everything that I'm discovering, God has me on another mission right now. And that mission that I am on currently is calling out sex offenders. And that's why I realized I was coming in contact with these people, because this individual is part of a cult. And I believe that there are children that are involved in this process. I believe it is coming from the US because the contact is in the US. And they're doing it under the guise of a church, acting like they're giving out donations to poor people. They're roping these poor people in and their children. They're doing sacrifices and rituals right here in the Gambia.
Now, let me pause. You know, there are some information, and I constantly have to remind myself too, because when you get talking, sometimes you need to make sure you're out of that country, out of that area, before you start to disclosing some bombshells that you're going to be dropping, because there are people who watch. And when you talk about sex trade, you're talking about a beast that millions are intertwined with. And if they feel like they're going to be exposed, they're coming for you. And I'm not saying that this was the key of maybe why she passed. Was there foul play? I don't know, the investigations and all that right there. But it's mighty funny. This video she did was 2 months ago. 2 months ago. And she just said she was going to start dropping information on those who are involved with the sex trade. Now, you know, there are people who sit in high places who are involved in that. And you know that there are people who sit in low places who are into that. And my thing is that, you know, sometimes, and like I said, I got to remind myself that you got to walk softly. You got to creep along and use sometimes wisdom in when you're disclosing information, because people want to be stayed in the dark. They don't want their truth coming to light that everybody knows. So let's continue.
And I'm sure in other places in Africa as well. And what's so deep about it is, if y'all have been following me on Facebook and other places, you know, I did a video where I talked about being a child from a firstborn ritual, right? My paternal grandfather, who is from Barbados, came to New York City and somehow got connected with a men's group, which I'm going to presume are the Freemasons, one of these types of groups. They get him connected with the Episcopalian Church, and they promise them wealth and legacy if they give them their firstborn for satanic rituals. And that's what my grandfather did. And how did I find out about that? My grandfather, let me say this. I was doing a divination, and I kept hearing that there's a man who wants to cross over, but he will not cross over until he sees you. And I'm like, that's random, because anybody related to me passed a long time ago.
She said she did a divination. Keyword on that, the divination. Now, we who are following the Most High have been instructed to stay away from such things. You know, there are some things you just don't deal with or dabble into, because, you know, as she says, you know, there are things, spirits, or if you will, that very few of us even can comprehend or understand. But there are existence and entities in levels of dimensions that are beyond ourselves that we should just refrain from. So she said there was a divination that she was part of.
You know, but we don't think in terms of that there's a middle ground before you go upstairs or before you take that dark ride downstairs, right? So apparently, Grandpa was in the waiting area. Excuse me. So
I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna fast forward a
no
little bit.
idea who you really are unless you know your birth chart, your destiny, your shadow bands on YouTube. They probably paid someone not to let the videos go through because, but I know there were people really had a lot in common, but I didn't know her.
Okay,
Her
let me
name
back
was
up a little bit.
You out, and it has happened here. There was one sister here. I didn't even know her, but in a way I did, because it seemed like every place I had ever been and did a video, this sister was doing videos the same way. So we was like really had a lot in common, but I didn't know her. Her name was Audrey Davis. So all I hear is this sister's supposed to be getting married in 1 week. All of a sudden, the sister turns up dead. She's 54 years old. How?
That was the
From
other
what I
sister
heard, she
from
didn't
last
have any
year.
health problems, computer equipment. She's buying land and chickens. Her name was Audrey Davis. And I believe the channel she had was Soul Star Healing, something like that. When I post the details, I will make sure I put it because I want y'all to check her out. So here's what happened. I heard this sister passed away because someone called me, said, Andrea, do you know this sister? I said, I don't know her. They said, oh, we thought you knew her because y'all was sitting a few seats from each other at this event. I said, no, it was so crowded. I didn't even look to see who was there. Okay. So I heard this sister pass. So every time I saw one of her videos come up in my feed, I would just share it because I didn't know her, but I felt like out of respect to her, I would do that. So I shared her videos. So one night I'm sleeping and I just get this urge to jump up and go to the bathroom. Like I can't hold it, like out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was about. I didn't even drink before I went to bed, but I jumped up, I went to the bathroom. And when I was coming back from the bathroom, I kept rubbing my chest. Like I had a pain in my chest. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. Maybe it's something I ate. So I laid back down. So about 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. One of the sisters from the Gambia calls and she says, Andrea, you up? I said, yeah. She said, oh, because your video just came through. I said, what video? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Now she's in Gambia. She said, the video you did on the sister Audrey. I said, I sent that video 12 hours ago. Why is it coming up now? The sister says, well, let me tell you, my daughter works with her best friend. I'm like, okay, it's not a coincidence that we're on the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning and somebody wants us to talk. So the two of us start talking and I say, we got to do something for the sister. She's like, I want to do something. So she says she's going to take the responsibility of organizing a memorial. I said, when you get everything organized, I will post it on all my channels. I'll do the best I can to help. Okay. So now the sister called me back and she mad. And I said, what's the matter? She said, these people here don't care. I said, what do you mean they don't care? She said, I'm trying to tell people that this sister died and people are acting like I didn't know her. Oh, what you want me to do? But then a sister's dog dies and everybody's sending the sister condolences about her dog. Oh, your poor dog. Oh, that's a shame. I said, see, we can't worry about what everybody else doing. Heart attack. She said, the husband called me, the fiance, and said he had to jump up and pee and go to the bathroom. And when he came back, she was having a heart attack. Is that not what happened to me when I ran to the bathroom? I said, okay, I'll see what time it is. She's trying to tell me something. So she's going to communicate with me again. Then another time, so we had that conversation.
She talks about having the dead who communicates with her when she's saying that.
We talked about, organizing, talking to the rest of the family to see if we could put the clues together. About a week later, I have another dream where the sister comes to me and she shoves a plate of food in my stomach so hard that the pain woke me up out my sleep. And I said, whoa, sis, I'm new to this. I'm gonna need you to kind of be a little easy with me, but I get it. So I believe that the sister was poisoned. Okay. She was poisoned, and all these different stories that this fiance is telling to people is because he is the one responsible for it. So fast forward, he now has her land. He had the house that she paid for how many years. This is what they do here. So, you know, I'm like, just stop. Y'all ain't even here on ground to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's going on. And you really could put people in danger running your mouth and not knowing what you're talking about. But I came on today because I wanted to show y'all these individuals that I'm dealing with that I believe were targeting, I know they're targeting me, and that they are also, I believe they're family members. I believe it's a brother and a sister crew that work together. They target people and they do all kind of hexes and spells and try to do curses and energy harvest from people. They use monitoring spirits to watch you. They will use birds and animals and people, all kind of stuff to be in your business. They will even try to hack into your phone, your laptop, your accounts. Like, they on it. I'm telling you, this is some real criminal conspiracy level type stuff here. Okay? People don't have no idea. But I decided today, you know what? The reason why people like this get away with things is because nobody shows their faces. Nobody knows what they look like. All you know is they talking about people. So I'm going to show you who I'm dealing with. Let me give y'all a picture. You know, I don't really go live often, so I'm not on enough to be like, well, I'm going to clip the picture and show you who it is. But this is the woman who is working with this individual. She is the one casting the spells. I don't know if y'all can see that.
It's a bad
looking
picture,
like a proper witch. This is the one casting the spells. Can y'all see that?
I want to try to pause.
Employers see tons of resumes every day and don't have time to carefully review them all, which means.
So I pause it because of, you know, like I said, maybe somebody can take this. And this is a video she did 2 months ago before her passing here just the other day. And she was going to pull up the brother, but she said it was a brother and a sister. So we at least know that. So if somebody knows who this is, who knows? Maybe this is information that could be passed on to investigators, what have you. But because I find it mysterious that, hey, 1 second. Why is not my, 1 second, my thing charging. Okay, so that they can pass on this information because I believe that, you know, this right here, unbeknownst to her, didn't see her day coming to a close. How does a 50-year-old woman who don't drink nor smoke, not obese, not overweight, have any medical conditions that, from what I'm told by others who knew her, you know, is found lethargic or out, incapacitated, and yet took into the hospital and then, you know, fall into a stroke, which then falls into a heart attack or something, and she's gone. You know, what is that all about? But this right here is what she put up.
Now tell me she don't look like a witch. Look under the chin. I'm hoping y'all can see this. Look under the chin.
What does a witch look like, y'all?
You see a mark under the chin. Look at the eyes across the bridge of the nose and the lips. Yep, that's what we're dealing with, y'all. Also harassing, copying content, sending spells, and the individual that she contracts to do her dirty work is this person right here. Now I'm gonna show y'all him. Now what's so unique about this individual is that he's a ginger, and most people are not familiar with gingers, right? And for those who don't know what a ginger is, A ginger is a red-haired black man, which would be a black man that has some type of European descent that makes him fully, like almost like a brown albino, if you will. Yes, Felicia, there is an entity, and I'm going to do some artwork that brings that entity out so people can see it, and I will post a picture next to it. There's definitely an entity behind it. And when you have that discerning eye, you are able to see that.
Let me say this right here. She continues to try to find the photo of this guy, but she never does. And then she goes on into the further of conversation. Let's go with it.
I'm telling you, it's deep. Like I can say, I've been here 2 years. I know a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of different people, and I've had to move away from a lot of people because I see they have ulterior motives, or they've tried to do things. Like I had somebody try to slip me tea, like a love binding spell. And I was sitting next to this person thinking, why am I sitting here like I can't get up? And that's when it clicked. I know this person didn't just try to slip me some tea, but it's only because of my abilities that I can experience it and go, this is not me. Imagine people feeling that way and they can't get a hold of why they're feeling that way. So it was me, the individual sitting in the middle, and another woman. And he's pouring this tea. He's drinking it as well. We are all eating together. His wife is the one that served us the food. And the woman was talking and he was talking, and I was just sitting there, and I wanted to get up, but I felt like I shouldn't get up. I said, oh, hell no. So I got up and I walked out, and it was almost coming to my mind, you should be jealous that he's talking to this woman. You should. I don't even like this person. What is happening right now? But that's what these spells will do to you. So I wanted to come in and talk about what this magic looks like here, because we have no idea coming from the West.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. We got to hear her. We got to see her reveal who is stalking her, as she said. I don't need to go into the spells and all that right there. You know, my thing is that I serve a greater power than lowlifes who walk around trying to, you know, put items and things and spells on people. You know, if that's your belief, that's your belief. Those things with your belief can take you in places you wish you never went. Beliefs, you know, I don't believe anybody can take my mind because I don't give my mind to people. I don't believe a person can put a spell on me because a person don't have power over the one that I serve that is in me. So, but there are people who believe in that, and those who have that belief system are subject to those types of behaviors. Yes, I've heard that Gambia, Ghana, they have these different types of rituals and things they try to put on people. And, you know, people cross the line and will do devious things to try to get at you, you know. But I'm going to say this right here as a brother, an elder, a man in the Most High, you know. And it just seems like here in the last week, I've been sharing with people, you know, my discernment. And I'm going to tell you, people's just not listening. People do not have an ear to listen. You know, people don't want to, people just, it's your life. You live your life. You know, let me tell you, spirits are real. So I'm not saying that. When you subject yourself to things, you invite things in. That is the real truth and nothing but the truth. You can look at the crazy people around today. How do you think music gets into people? How do you think people act out and misbehave when you hear things and you become the very thing that you study, read, listen to, hang around with, have conversations about? Oh, those are real. Oh, how you see how people transform and become, you see some innocent person and all of a sudden they evolve into something else that you're like, how in the heck did you go from here to there that quick? You can see that everywhere we go. I mean, especially in America. Heck, we blinked and now they're talking about what's a man and what's a woman. Now people running around talking about they this and that, want to identify being this and that. So it's true, live and well. But I want to put this out to my sisters because in the beginning, I started with the sisters and I have a love for my sisters. The Most High has a love for the sisters. You're not going to like what I say for most of you all. You either get a hold, you either grab a hold and go through a transformation to understand why, or you can go on to do what you want to do. Let me say it like this, brothers and sisters. It is not by chance, coincidence, or accident that the Most High created and how it was created a male and a female. It was not by chance or coincidence, this male and female. And we can just say energy first. We're not going to even get to the man and woman, but this masculine and this feminine spirit, energy, vibration, whatever words y'all like to use, exists in the form of language, masculine and feminine, in the form of electricity, masculine, feminine, in the form of plant kingdom, animal kingdom, insect kingdom is masculine and feminine or male and female. In the stars, in the universe, you're going to find the masculine and the feminine. For we do know the sun is the masculine side of the energy force. And the moon is the feminine side of light in the universe. It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. But for you women who they told you to lie, that you don't need a man, especially those who are washed up, who I had a conversation with a sister yesterday. 60 years old. She says she gives herself a year. If she can't find the man, she will find her a woman. And I said, why would you do such a thing? This is her response. I don't want to die alone. And the first thing that came to mind was Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels said that. He said, go buy a dog and die alone. But this is what this woman said. I don't want to die. And so I said, so I get having female friends. Are you talking about companion and sexual and all that right there? And literally it was yes. But you could talk about your whole career of how fantastic, you know, your achievements and your goals, you're driven and you're all of these things that you have done. And yet the one thing you overlook was a man and you can't get it. Now you're saying that you'll go swing to a woman. This is a spirit. This is a spirit. And yet when we say that the creator who created the beautiful essence of life, which stems from male and female of all species, that the male was never made for the female. It was the female made for the male. Now that is not no so-called, what some would say, a male chauvinist point of view. It's a fact. And when, you know, when you realize why is it that if a man is asking woman and invites a woman into his life, what other reason would he want from her but yet to help him in what he's building? Now, I know we're off track because we want to go ahead and hook up with a woman who looks good, beauty in her eye. She might be acclaimed and accomplished. And yet you forget the whole nature, the matter of the fact that the helpmate for the man builds a team and that y'all both two become the one, and that the kingdom that you build is for the good of your legacy. why you want to get a woman who only want to think about her career and then have a disdain or disregard for your building? It's ironic that a man will ask a woman to marry him and to take on his name, and yet it can't even cross the mind of both of them that in essence what he is doing is inviting her into his life so that she can be the helper, whether it's in his business, whether it's in the building, whether it is in whatever it is, that she comes in and becomes the one with him. But when you have the battered, bruised, when you have the neglect, these elderly women who misguide the women because now they're old and washed up, and then they tell that garbage to the young women, girl, go and get yours. You don't need no man. And yet when I'm meeting these women, because I'm 57, and I have these conversations with these women, old, bitter, and lonely. And it's not to beat up on sisters. I'm talking to my beautiful sisters. It is time to get back in order and stop walking around uncovered. Submissive. I don't want to be submissive. You know, my man, he had said this to me, and it made all the sense in the world. He said it's mighty funny women talking about they want to be submissive, but God dog, when you get in the bedroom, they can put their legs around their heads, turn around backwards, and be in a submissive state. The man don't get in no submissive state. The woman is in a submissive state. Oh, yes. Yeah. When you got to get up in the morning and go answer to a man's world, you're already in a submissive state. You can take orders and you can take all the bumps and bruises from your job, and they tell you when to come, when to take leave and all that right there, but yet can't receive from the very man who is trying to build, protect, and provide. This is the idiotic stuff that goes along around the world. And so I see these single women traveling, aimlessly wandering. Proverbs 5. Shout out to my man who also brought this to my attention too as well. You know, we get into these conversations of really the universal laws are so important that if we would just stand on it, we won't have to or drift off of what the path that has been given us, that we can live a harmonious life in its right place and right order. You know, men have to step up, because even men don't even know the position that they hold. I'm not talking about y'all guys who are already married. I'm not trying to get in y'all marriage. I'm talking about these single guys out here who are seeking a woman. You best know your position. I tell all the young men right here, the way you start off a relationship is the way it's going to end. You let that woman try to rule your head and be the head over you, you're asking for problems. Women want a strong man. It's just inherent that she would want to buy into wanting to be the say-so in many of the matters. What you expect from a woman who's been single all her whole life, and she's been making her decisions on her own and making all of these different type of moves and all these type of things that's in her life, and yet then when to get married, want to have the say-so as well. Not to say that say-so is always invited, but at the end of the day, that decision comes down to the man head. I know some don't like it, but men, I'm telling you, look, my wife understands submission. My wife understands order, and I'm thankful she does, because she was taught it. Y'all see my wife on the video, and she'll be right here next to me, and she'll be like this. Yep. He the man. He makes the decisions. I'm the one who makes the decisions. I consult her. What is your thoughts on that? Because why? She's my helper. But I'm watching these sisters dying, and in the fifth one in Gambia in the last year and something, single women getting up with who? You know, people don't listen. People really don't listen. Art Cathy years ago was telling y'all what's going on in Gambia. And many of y'all think y'all strong enough to go into a place that she told y'all, y'all don't need to come here. Don't come here. She told y'all. She told y'all women 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. She told you exactly the type of men that were there. Now, we can't speak of all men, but you know, she was giving her experience and what's been happening since then. You know how many emails I get from people who want me to do videos, what's going on in the Gambia and Ghana, all this right here. I will do things as a teaching moment because our brothers and sisters are lost. They're lost, especially when you want to talk about coming in foreign lands and then you want to hook up with a local. Really? We know that's not love. We know it's a business deal. But here's the thing, if you haven't missed anything, because I've done reports on people dying because of land disputes. Do you really think for one moment Africa does not do kissy, kissy, lovey, lovey? I had a sister today tell me her husband wants her to tell him he loves her. And she's like, I'm from Ethiopia. We don't say no, I love you. I said, that's true. Africans don't walk around holding hands and kissing on each other. Affection, that's a European crap that we fell into. For real. Not to get me wrong, because I love to rub on my wife and I love her rubbing on me. What I'm saying, though, is that right here, you coming to Africa, you really think love, this European concept of love, and the joker you hooking up with makes $1.50 a day? What better catch is there? My goodness gracious, a better catch to catch a woman coming from a foreign world, hook up with her, and then kick her to the curb when she put her hard-earned money to buy land, build a house, and all I got to do is just move her out the way, and I got it. This is why I tell you, brothers, man, if y'all out here trying to get some of these silly rabbit women, sleeping with them, and you don't think they ain't wide, you think you playing somebody for a fool? They playing you for the fool. You gonna come into a country thinking you just gonna lay down and have your way with some of these women, and you don't think that they know that you got more money than they got? They see what you might be broke as a joke, but it's more than they got. They'll put you in a ditch as quick as can be just to take your watch and get $5 from it. I'm not speaking of all. I'm talking about those who see the opportunity. There is a thing called being equally yoked. If you trying to be equally yoked when you know there's a sizable difference in your culture from another culture, and the only reason why you're connecting with the person is because of what you like in them, what do you think they like in you? I told a sister, she sat down and talked with me a couple of weeks ago here in Tanzania, a single sister wanting to find that man. And I told the sister this right here. I said, look, sister, if you want to find a man for you, you must prepare yourself. How do you prepare yourself? You better do away with that old stinking thinking that you're this strong black woman that has a voice and scream at the top of your lungs how strong you are. That's the wrong strength, sister. A strong black woman is reserved. A strong black woman knows how to tame her tongue. A strong black woman don't have to do this. That's strength. That's scripture. To tame the tongue, very few can do it. This is not we're not talking about enslaving a woman, putting a woman in some type of bondage. We got it all twisted. A man actually who does his job and handle his business brings the liberty and the freedom for the woman. Woman, you're not free when you got to work a 9 to 5 and answer to some daggone other people who is just using you for their own good, their own wealth. I remember my first marriage. My ex could not understand that. She had problems on the job. They fired her. I said, forget that. So I was like, look, I got the business already going. I'm looking at tying in my barber beauty supply to the shop that I have. Go ahead and run it. She pulled teeth and nail. I don't want to do this. I'm handing you your freaking freedom. You ain't got to answer to no man. Why can't you just build with me? This is not what I want to do. To this day, she still asks me for help. And I don't give a helping hand. To this day, I'm like, this woman, look, I'm not trying to rag her, but this is the nonsense. Somebody said I'm struggling with romance. Romance is bull crap. I don't care what anybody say. Romance? What is romance? I ain't got no time for no romance. What's romance? Let me tell you, do you want the freaking lights on? Do you want food on your table? Do you want a shelter? Do you want, look, you know, because the woman who said today to me that, yeah, he wants me to tell him most of the time that I love him. So, well, you know what? It's good somebody wants to tell you love, but we got the wrong perception of love. Love is not a saying, it's a doing. So she must give me high five. Love is peace. Love is kind. Love don't boast. Love is patience. Ain't this freaking dang bumps, hair rising on your skin, you know, fireworks blowing up. That was European bull crap that they put in the movies. Love's what should have kept you home last night. Love keeps you faithful. Love makes you go out and do for your family. But you sisters are aimlessly wandering without a man's being your head. Now, let me say this, though, because the scripture says the head of a man is Christ, and the head of a woman is a man. Didn't say husband, a man, because you young girls, y'all daddy should be your head, or a man figure of whose head is Christ. That's the difference. He's not doing it on his own. He is following the Most High. When you have a man whose heart is trying to follow the Most High, then you know you in good hands. Men, you have to have a head. These sisters out here that's roaming, aimlessly wandering, trying to figure it out. Looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love. Out here sashaying with local guys that live in a freaking grass hut. Are you kidding me? That's not no shade on no other brothers here or no people in Africa. Because you got brothers out here who are doing it, who are working, doing for themselves. No, but you don't want that. See, you don't want that type of man. You want one I've seen it, y'all. I see these sister bossing these young men around. And as soon as they get tired of that, they put their hands on these women. I've done the videos. They put their hands on you. Why? Because you crossed the line. Why? Because see, when you talk about a masculine or a masculinity within the man, he will lay dormant for so long that he bucks up. He bucks up. You can't be playing around with no people in Africa like you're going to connect with them and then all of a sudden you're going to do a breakup with them. These people don't understand that type of love. No, they don't understand that. You better understand some cultures. You don't just be playing around, man, with these women. Oh, and you talk about really getting some seriously hurt, body hurt. You mess around with the wrong women, they coming after your head. They ain't got guns. They got machetes. They'll make you nothing more than fish bait and wonder what happened to you, and nobody will ever hear from you again. You can't come into countries, young ladies, thinking you can play a game of let's date somebody today. I don't like them. You think you know how hurt that dude gonna be when he thought he hit the jackpot? You done took him to some restaurants he ain't never ate at before, bought him some clothes. Now you talking about get out of my life? Really? This is what sister said. Peace be unto her, but she said that. You can't play with people's feelings or hearts. You can't. It's time to man up and woman up. And I see a lot of women out here. There is a lot of Afro American women out here. A lot of them. Lonely, confused. I know some ain't going to agree with me, but it's true. It is true. And they're trying to find love somewhere, and it don't work out. Like my sister said, I'm giving myself a year. If not, I'm going to the woman. And so you think that your behavior that is not fitting for a man, you think a woman's going to put up with that too? Okay, we'll see. You do know that gays do break up too. You can play like the man's the problem all day long. And we do know sisters are all turning to other sisters and fed up over men, all because of the fact that they don't want to understand the whole concept of a man and a woman. So my condolences too. And it was Adria Martin, to her family, to the sisters that have lost their lives, brothers who have lost their brothers. One of my friends here in Ghana lost his life. They said it was malaria. He had land disputes. Yes, land disputes. And I know a couple other women who lost their lives because of land disputes. Anyway, I forgot to put my banner up. I am going to be doing I'm going to be showing people around Tanzania here come June timeframe. If you're interested to have an exclusive, exuberating, outstanding experience with Go Black to Africa, please shoot me an email because then I will respond to you. There will be a vetting. It's not just anybody can be on in my presence. And so, this is going to be a great opportunity to really experience Africa in a different sense that many people who do their own thing out here in their tours, they do it their way. I have a special way of doing what I want to do so that it will even open your eyes up to the grandeur, the beautifulness of this continent. Really, it is beautiful people in Africa. You got your goods and your bads all over this world. It's just that we have a total different approach when we come into these countries and have a disregard for culture that you can disrespect some and can cause harm to yourself and others. So without further ado, does anybody have any questions? I saw somebody that sent, I think it was O'Shea Duke. What's up, O'Shea Duke? Good to see you if you're still here. Peace and blessings to you, brother, while you over there in Uganda. Anybody have any questions? Any questions about Africa, whatever? Somebody says, I want to tour Kenya. Are you doing a tour there? No, I'm not doing a tour in Kenya. I'm currently will be doing it here in Tanzania. So yeah. Other questions, I will open the mic up for those who may want to talk about the subject matter that I spoke about. If anybody wants some education, I know somebody asked about what does a woman do if she doesn't have male escort or with somebody when she's traveling along in Africa or around the world. This is not about just Africa. Believe me, sisters, this happens everywhere. And even the men there too. It happens everywhere, especially you passport bros, because they feeling it. Oh yeah, some of them had to deal with some of the issues that's going on with them in the DR or in Colombia and South America. They're being drugged, being robbed by women, taking advantage of the foolishness of our brothers. Going on these dating sites and you thinking that you're going to get you some, but all you got was tainted drink. You wake up and all your stuff is gone. Like you said, like I said before, who got, you or her, or he or you, or you or he. Either way, don't try to play the game, because you know what? People are wise enough to play the game against you. Other questions. Let's see. As for your tour in Tanzania, will you also have Mark meet Africa and Ashley in Africa and guests? No, I will not, because they're doing their own thing. And yeah. Now, that don't mean that you can't for yourself go out and do some things, How did the sister die? Well, the report is Fitzroy that she became ill, had a stroke, and then passed on. Other questions we have here. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Botswana. I enjoy Botswana. Botswana is definitely a nice, relaxed place. Okay, no other questions. Let's see here. I'm making sure my screen keeps scrolling down. Thank you, Shay 184. It's good information for everybody. You say it's good information for the sisters. It's good information even for the men, because men be getting caught up in mess too. But he's a man, and he's not subject like most women who are powerless when it comes to being in a man's world. Let's see here. Opinions on Liberia. Go check it out. Go check out Liberia. Okay, so I don't see any other. Okay. What's the safest place? What's the safest place with a decent healthcare system? I'm gonna tell you, for the most part, Africa's safe. I've been in 33 African countries. I really haven't had any issues, really, as far as my safety is concerned. But I've been in some sketchy places. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm with this camera, and yeah, I can discern people are watching, and people feel a little unease. But you got to be wise as you travel, just like you in America. You got to be wise where you go in America. You go on them hillbilly redneck areas down there in Mississippi and Alabama, and let the sun catch you. Let that sun go down and catch you, and we gonna catch you. You go in some of these hoods in America, and you won't belong there. You just might become a victim. You go into some of these communities that might be of other race of people. You might have the what do they call the Mexican 12 or whatever gangs, and you might go into some other area. You got to be careful wherever you go. Let's see here. So the healthcare systems, you got to seek out, for you, what would be considered the healthcare system. Now, I was told that the place that she went was not really the best place to get the best health care. But, and then I asked, and this is something good too to know, because I asked this, my sister who told me about that. I said, well, maybe, there needs to be something done by some of the repats there to ensure that they be sent to maybe the better healthcare system. But there again, you can't just take somebody somewhere if they don't have the monies or the funds. So the question is, what do you do then if you become incapacitated? You got to have linked up with people, stay in contact with people maybe each day. So if somebody don't hear from you, they have somebody check on you. And then that if you disclose to them that I want to be taken here for my health care, then that should be a place that you need to do. And I need to get on that and do that too as well, which I will do, because we need to learn from other people's experiences. Do you have a permanent residency in Tanzania? There's no such thing as a permanent resident as a foreigner in Tanzania. You got to renew it. But I have a residency, yes. Yep. You still working for the German company? Never was working for any German company. I don't know what you're talking about. I never. I don't know where you got that from. What else we got here? What's the name of the sister in the video and her channel? Her channel name was or is Anja Africa, ANJAAFREECA. Check out the whole video. She also talks about, she goes further into some of the talks. I didn't want to go through the whole hour and something, but just certain bits and pieces where she discloses who these people were that she were hounding her. Okay, let's see some other questions here. Other questions. I hope all of you all are well. I hope you are spiritually well and healthy, as well as your mental and also your physical. You know, I'm on lovely Tanzania with the beautiful people here, you know, very peaceful place. Peace and blessings to those brothers and sisters out here. You know, there's no perfect place out here, but there are some places probably better than other places. Though I have my headaches and you know, headaches with some of the cultures. Some of the cultures are very trying to, and you got to get used to the cultures and how people behave and act. And it be trying sometimes, you know, but I understand it's just how different we are as a people. Let's see here. For those who don't understand the question, please put a question mark. Put a question mark in front so I can see it. Some of y'all asking the question, but don't even put a question mark. Y'all be doing what I be doing sometimes. I don't put a question mark at the end of my question. Is your list of best countries to live in Africa still the same? Y'all know I don't believe in best. I never did anything about the best, my top best. I said the top 3 that I believe that most people from America would probably gravitate towards because of a Western type feel was Ghana, South Africa. And what was my third one? Because it can change a little bit. I would say it could be Nairobi, Kenya. It just all depends on how long we got. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. Let's see here. Other questions. Will you ever return to the USA? Yeah. I won't say no. We don't know what tomorrow brings. How about marrying into a country to get permanent residency? Is that a wise decision? You would marry just to be a permanent residency? If you're comfortable with that, that's comfortable with you. I wouldn't call it wise. It's a business deal if that's what you want to enter. Because if when I'm hearing the word marrying, I'm hearing family network building off of that. But if you want to just do the business deal, there are people who do that all day, every day. Business deal. Is there still a right of return in certain countries? Which one? Don't know. Let's see here. What are the questions? How much money she got? Okay. Oh, let's see. Go Black. Did you do an interview with Black Re-Education TV? No, not that I recall. I've only did a couple of interviews, really. I've seen that channel before, though. Would you be willing to host an African American dating show? or episode. I've thought about doing it. I really thought about doing it, you know, but you know, my time, I'm ripping and running around. So yeah. Go Black to Dating. Hey, that's a good title. Go Black to Dating. That would be awesome. Or some type of show that maybe, you know, gearing people in the right perception of this dating. If they're in dating, guiding them into how it should be done in the right way that the Most High has caused it to, you know, created it to be. Because dating is a very loose word. What does that mean? Dating. I thought dating was getting to know one another. That's what I thought, but it's totally different for many people. Do you find that some YouTubers in Africa don't share the full story of living in Africa? There's different people out here who's got their own reasons for sharing information, of course. Let's see here. Can I sell my book on your website? I'm not into that right now. I'm not into that right yet. Have you visited the Gimgahana Sports Club in Tanzania? The gym, the Gimgahana? No, I haven't. Where do I reside in Africa? Wherever I lay my head. Have I ever thought about collaborating with Austin Holloman or O'Shea Duke? Y'all don't. Well, Austin Holloman, I have not had an opportunity really to talk with him. O'Shea Duke, you know, I was in Uganda. We've done videos before. Actually, the dating thing, that he's got a dating show, and I gave him an idea. Why don't we do one about, you know, me trying to find my son's a wife for my son in Africa? That video did awesome. That video did awesome. And you know, I shared with him that I had an idea of the dating show 3 years ago when I started. I said I wanted to do when I came to Africa, try to connect brothers and sisters with Africans and maybe just do a dating show and see how that kind of goes and learn about the different cultures and stuff like that. I think it would be fun. Dating shows should be replaced with courting. Anything that includes fornication and sin. Well, I mean, you know, of course, you know, whether you want to call it courting, whether you want to call it getting to know you, whether you want to call it whatever, you know, when it's done in its right, proper place, you have a better opportunity of success. We all know that. We all know that. Let's see here. Any other questions? Do you have any connection to the Bamileke tribe? Actually, it's in my DNA, the Bamileke tribe. I got a brother right now who's going to be putting together to show me around the Cameroon. Hopefully, I can be there here shortly, in a few months. Let's see here. Yeah, I've heard about Britain returning some artifacts. Okay, folks. I just want to bring this information to you all. Again, my condolences to the families who's lost their loved ones. while being out here in Africa. But first and foremost, sisters, you gotta be wise when traveling alone, and don't be in a rush to try to get on the hookups. Stella got her groove back was a lie. Matter of fact, that's what was the woman played Stella got her groove back? The man she married is gay? Just saying. This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all that has come in here, for your prayers that y'all put out there for me in my travels, your kind words, your beautiful emails, your messages that you send. May the Most High bless you and yours and in your endeavors and your desires. I'm out.